Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Casey with Straight Six Archery. Today we're going to talk about third axis and what you need to look for and the tools that you're going to need if you want to do this at home. You could find the Bright Sight Leveler and these levels at our website if you'd like, or we can do it in the shop at either location. But it's a very important 3D season. Total Archery Challenge Mountain Archery Fest is about to show up. So these are some things that you want to look for in your equipment leading up to hunting season right now. This is the perfect time to make sure that if you haven't watched our last video on cam timing, watch that. We could fix your cam timing, and now we're going to look at your sight levels, maintenance, general maintenance things that you need to do on your bow and make sure that it's ready for either your 3D season or your hunting season coming up, because spring and turkey show up around April. And you want to make sure if you're hunting the Bitterroots, it's straight up and down shots, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So third axis, I've got a water bottle here to explain third axis first, and then a bunch of different sights to show you, but I'm only going to do third axis on one sight, which is going to be right here and kind of what it does. So I'm going to explain it on a water bottle first. So this is going to, let's just pretend, me and you, that this is the level that's in your sight right here. Okay, this is your sight level, is this water bottle. I'm the bow, and this is your sight level. So second axis is gonna work like hinges on a door. Or, excuse me, second axis is gonna work east and west, just like this, and it's very visual. You know when your sight is off because A, your pins are gonna be sitting like this and your bubble's gonna be in the middle. Obviously, you have to change your second axis, with which all sights should have a second. If they don't, you need to upgrade your sight. So, second axis, if I'm at full draw, boom, I'm a bow and I'm gonna go to full draw, second axis. Easy to fix. I just turn it just like this. Now, third axis is going to act like hinges on a door. I apologize for messing that up earlier, but third axis, which you can't see on flat ground, is going to go like this. I can't see this on flat ground. Now, the sight head, you're going to be wondering, does my sight do this? Yes, it does. Your sight head should have third axis where it's going to pitch the sight east and west. So I'm your bow, remember? So I'm gonna go to full draw, and what we're gonna do is manipulate the torque that's at full draw on your bow. Now, no matter how strong, let's say a Hoyt or a Mathews or a PSE or a Prime are, they're going to have torque at full draw. So let's go to full draw, and let's put some torque in it, okay? Now it's still level, but your second axis is already fixed, but now I'm gonna take a downhill shot without moving anything else. Look at that level. See how far out that is? Now we're gonna come back to flat ground, and we're here. Let's say we take an uphill shot. Level's way, way off. But you're never gonna see that when you're on flat ground. Notice how every time I come back to flat ground, it is dead nuts in the middle. So how do we fix that? You have to have a bright sight leveler. If you don't have a bright sight leveler, the other way to do this is to hang a plumb bob in your garage and take your bow to full draw and go up and down on that plumb bob and make sure that all your pins are on that line at the same time. Very, very difficult to accomplish. So I recommend having some sort of equipment or bringing it in for us to do. So you're gonna need a level and you're gonna need a bright sight leveler. Now I'm gonna show you here on a sight, you're gonna wanna look for something, some adjustment that's going to make the sight pitch in and out or east and west when it's on flat ground. You could see that this one has that U shape right here. If you could see that, that's a spot hog. Your third axis is going to be right here on these two screws, which is going to move that sight in and out on that axis adjustment. Option archery is going to be this bubble level right here. Kind of difficult to see, but you've got a U shape right here. It's not on the base of the sight, but it is right here to manipulate that bubble to move east and west. Now black gold, let's see where this is at. Right there. There's your adjustment right there. So this set screw is going to pitch this east and west. Now, I'm actually do this really fast for you on this camera before we go to the bright sight leveler so that you can see it. All right, so I loosen my set screw, and I'm just gonna turn this outside screw, and look at how crooked that sight looks now to that bar. See how the bar is perfectly straight, and then your sight goes way out here? So now I'm gonna go the other direction, okay? Now I'm gonna go this way. Check this out. It's gonna go in. Look at that. The bar is perfectly straight up and down, and the sight is pointing straight that way. That's very aggressive third axis, by the way. I don't know, I mean, maybe. You might have to go that aggressive, just depending on what you want to do. But every sight, again, if it doesn't have third axis, you need to upgrade your sight if you're going to take anything of a downhill shot at any angle. Okay, so second axis. Let's jump to the bright sight leveler here. I'm gonna go to this camera angle. So I can see that my bubble right here, now I can adjust this. I took it off my bow earlier. I can adjust this knob for my second axis to make sure the base of the bright sight is level. Now check it out. On my sight level, it's not. I'm kind of riding that outside line. I've already taken the liberty to loosen this bottom screw and this top screw on my sight so that I can pitch this. But once you get this now in the very middle, we tighten this down. That's your second axis on black gold. Now we can do this on all other sight models that I showed you. I'm just gonna do it on black gold today though for reference. If you'd like to see other sights, let me know in the comments or call me on the phone. Okay, so second axis, check that out. Right in the middle, okay, we're good. I've got my second axis tightened down, we're solid. I'm gonna reference it again off of this level to make sure we're solid here. We are good. Okay, the bright sight level is perfectly level to the ground. There's no denying that. The second axis in the bubble on this black gold sight is perfect. Now, for reference, I am going to throw this way out of third axis, okay? I just moved that a ton. Now, if I had an overhead shot, this sight, like I showed you on this black gold right here, on this camera, like I turned this screw and pointed it way outside to the bow. I just did that on this sight. Now you can actually see second axis didn't affect that at all. So what we're gonna be able to do is loosen this knob on the bright sight and pitch this up. Look at the bubble now. That bubble is all the way to the left. Now what you're gonna do at full draw naturally is when this bubble shoots that way and your uphill shot is like this, you're going to move to make sure that your sight is level before you take your shot. That's not good because you're putting unnatural torque in your bow hand and your release hand, your cattywampus over here, but hey, you're level, let her rip. No, so we gotta fix that, right? So here's how you do it. The bright sight's good. We know your second is good because we've already checked that. Now we loosened our set screw right here already, so I'm gonna move this outside screw. This is just on black gold for reference. Again, I'm gonna move this base of this sight until that level. Look at it, I'm turning it, turning it, turning it. We're almost there, we're almost home. Boom. Let it sit, let the bubble settle a little bit. The material that's inside of these bubbles is kind of slow sometimes. But boy, that looks absolutely money to me. So I'm level on the bright sight, I'm level on the sight, so that is perfect for third axis. So now, when I draw on flat ground and I know my bubble's level and I don't have any torque in my bow hand or my release hand, and now I bend at the waist on this axis right here, and I take a 45-degree uphill shot, I don't have to manipulate my bow any more than I normally would on flat ground because my third axis is perfect. Now, another quick thing you can do is bring this back down to level and make sure your second is still good. You can adjust that a little bit if you need to. I'm gonna move these to the side. Second thing you can do is if you have a bright sight, bring it to the edge of a counter. Make sure you're level, so I'm gonna adjust this a little bit. I always like to put pressure in the middle of this base for some reason. There's two levels on this thing. You gotta make sure that they're spot on. And this is just like, you know, double checking a couple things. Once you've already done it on your counter, pitching it up usually does the trick if you pitch it straight up. But now what we're gonna do, and I'm sorry that you can't see the level on this sight right here, but you can pitch this down over the edge of the counter if you can. Now, my sight is kind of hitting the base of that, but if you have an extended dovetail, you can pitch it off the edge of a surface like this and double check it on the way down. And then also bring this straight up and double check this again that your third axis is on. So I'll bring this back over here. Look at that. This counter is not level, but we can fix that by adjusting some screws on the bright side. One of the best pieces of equipment both of our shops have. If you buy a sight from Straight Six, by the way, we do this to every single sight that leaves our door. Not a single one. From $99 to $599, every single sight that we have leaves after it sees a bright sight leveler, so you can ensure that your sight's pretty level. But let's face it, stuff happens when you're hunting. You could bump something, you could bump that third axis, your set screw could come loose. Let's say your bubble on your black gold breaks. You're gonna need to check your second and third axis all the time. So, thank you for joining our educational portion of our channel. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment for more videos just like this. If you wanna see something else, hit me in the comments, email me, it's in the description below, or call us at the shop. Both of those numbers are in the description, and I appreciate you watching. Have a great day.